Welcome to Mind Your Business, the channel where we are in everybody's business. If you don't mind getting in people's business, you're on the right channel. Talking about current topics and gossip.
Hey, my nosy people, Wagwan. I hope you're all blessed. So, I want to come and have a little recap/rant cap about Ready to Love reunion. So I have been waiting and wanted to see this. Slightly disappointed that nephew Tommy didn't host, but obviously he tested positive for COVID. So had a replacement who was Tanika Ray. I don't know her. But I just, from the get-go, let's just say I didn't like the setup of the reunion. I think they should go back to previous setups like the other seasons, where they've been able to have all the cast out there and everyone's able to sort of conduct themselves effectively. I just didn't like the setup of it in this one. So the reunion kicked off with showing Phil and Sydney, and they're still together. They looked really nice on the sofa together, looked all quite loved up. I did say that I always thought their initial attraction seemed to be quite sexual, and that's what they kind of showed us. So I'm glad that they seem quite happy and loved up, but it'd be good to see how, if that goes the distance, and, wish them well with that. But they do look like a really cute couple together. Shiloh was a no-show for the reunion. I thought that was interesting. I thought maybe she's still in her feelings about maybe the way she departed, and also for the way, things went down with Phil, because I do feel like, she was almost throwing him under the bus towards the end by saying he intentionally hurt her, which I don't necessarily think that was the intention, but I feel like she might have been still in her feelings about that. And I feel like what Phil definitely did trigger her, so maybe she needed time to process that, which is why she didn't turn up. So of course the key one that I wanted to pick up on was of course Kamil and Cornelius. So they did show Kamil and Cornelius, some of their highlights, and showed basically Kamil looking possessive, how she has been throughout the whole series, and looking rather cray. And I thought it was interesting that she felt like it's the editing that made her look like she's crazy and possessive. And, it's talking about how she's theatrical and she's just here to entertain or whatever. But I'm sorry, I agree with Sabrina. There's only so much that editing can do. The words, the expressions were all you. That was all you. All the things that came out of your mouth were all you. And I felt like Kamil did not take any accountability for her actions, the way she handled herself, being super possessive, being rude to all the other women. She didn't take none of that, and I wasn't very happy with the host because I didn't feel like she pushed her to hold it. She was like, no, I'm not having that, I'm not taking that, I'm not owning that. But I feel like the host should have been like, how can you not own it when it's blatantly in your face? I think the whole back and forth between her and Aisha, said her bit, which was, about the way that she felt she behaved, and that she was quite threatening, and a few other women said that she was threatening. I think it was Courtney that all said that she came across aggressive. But she did basically mark Cornelius from the start, and she let her claws be out to all the other women, so they knew not to come forward or to even bother. So I do agree with that, and the show, if you watch it, it shows that blatantly. Cornelius, I don't know what he is on. You coming in with your grills on. I'm like, this is the good boy, are you the hood boy? Like, I don't know what's going on with him right now, but I still feel like he is definitely under her thumb and definitely under her spell. I feel like he's not necessarily happy, but because she left the show for him, maybe he feels obligated or what, but there's some sort of hold over there. Because even, where they were talking about her being possessive and kind of blocking it, and Sabrina said she felt like, that Cornelius wasn't necessarily completely happy. He tried to kind of make excuses for his way out of it, but at the same time, she kind of gave it to him, was like, how are you going to answer this? But I just thought, you guys have done a lot of prepping before you came. I feel like she prepped him a lot, or they prepped each other. They got in as a united front. But I just thought, well, sorry, Cornelius, you look like a clown. I still think you look a bit of a punk because you didn't really stand up for yourself, and to me, let the woman just walk all over you. But maybe that's what you like. You like that kind of woman to walk all over you like that, in that sense, because that was from the get-go. That wasn't like a work your way up to it. That was from the get-go. They also showed Kamil talking about how she has multiple characters, Olivia and Shay Shay, and of course, and there's Kamil, but but of course the host asks her, are they all here today? And she's like, oh no, we've worked that out through counselling. Even though you're saying you've got all these characters and all this stuff going on, you're still not owning the way you are. She really needs to look into herself around that. And even sitting there denying that she said that she's going to F everyone up, like, it is blatantly there's no editing, the words came out of your mouth, you're still trying to deny it when it's in your face. Ridiculous. I wasn't really impressed with the reunion, I'll be honest with that. I think it could have been hosted better. I think Tommy would have been better to do it, because obviously if he's not well, he's not well, but he's better to do it, or somebody who's going to really challenge them on their stuff, because I don't feel like Kamil got challenged enough, or even Cornelius. Like, Cornelius, to me, man up. He did say before that on the show that he feels like, he does need to still get to know other women. Now he's coming on reunion talking about, he feels like he got to know enough women. He's just quick with his decision. I just feel like you're just saying that. Kamil not owning it, saying that she's not possessive. Apparently she's just sarcastic. You're in denial, and you definitely came across possessive and aggressive. I mean, even the recaps showed that she was a bit cray. You know, you can watch that back and see the reactions from the other contestants, and that even says it all. You know, now Cornelius is saying that how he was chasing her as much as she was chasing him. That's rubbish, because they didn't show that, honey. They didn't show that at all. And you can see that she was basically running you down and got you and held on to you, and that was that. Yes, you thought she was cute, but I think you thought a few women were cute. But you just stayed where you was at. You know, she marked you, and that was it. You were her territory, mate. It's like she might as well just done what was it when dogs mark their territory? Yeah, just piss all over the area. That's basically what she's done with him. Now he's chatting rubbish. And to me, it just looks like Kamil kind of put the batter in his back and definitely kind of prepped him for this. I just thought Kamil just came across kind of badly behaved even on the reunion. So like when Aisha was trying to explain how she felt, which was she felt that, you know, he didn't take full part in the process, you know, the actual journey. And Kamil was basically a block throughout that process for him. And I think that's quite true. And she even flagged the fact that she tried to speak to him initially and she kept interrupting. And like I said, she just hadn't marked him from the start and was kind of warding off other women. And the other women who were sitting there were in agreement. Sabrina, Courtney said that she found that she thought that she was aggressive. She didn't necessarily feel put off, but that's because Courtney said that she's quite a outgoing person and she'll go after a guy that she likes. But for other women who may not be that outgoing, of course it's going to be off-putting if you've got women talking rubbish, claiming this guy and saying if you put him in the bottom 3, then I'm going to F you all up. Like, it's just way too much. It was way too much. And she should have been able to own that. And even Sabrina said that she felt like he was being pressured, you know, to be with her because of the way Kamil was behaving. But of course, Cornelius decides to deny that. I suppose he doesn't want to embarrass her. But I think that in the long run, he's just embarrassing himself because people were just looking out for him. Back to the reunion setup. The reunion setup to me made no sense because why was Walter sitting there on the end of the sofa when you've got Aisha going back and forth? Like, a lot of it just didn't make any sense. I don't like the way they did it. There was no full continuity, and I didn't feel like they were getting any closure on anything either. You know, you had the back and forthness, but you're not holding no one accountable. So it doesn't seem like it was worthwhile. So I can see why Tasia got a bit upset and walked off, and she's got her own personal stuff going on, and she walked off just like, it's ridiculous. And so we'll see what happens next week. But also, of course, the Brown Girl Squad comes up, and the host points out that how Zadia always seems to get a pass from Kamil. And I think it was Sydney said that it was because she's part of the Brown Girl Squad. And I thought it was interesting because the host said that she didn't like that and she felt kind of sad that they were separating themselves from the other girls. And I thought that as well. I didn't really think there was a necessary need for that in a sense. Or even if you do want to have your own little thing, I don't think you need to do that on that sort of show. But I just felt like it was just creating more of this tension for no reason and creating a them and us thing. And Sabrina mentioned that, you know, she felt like Zadia and them were kind of a bit foul to her, treated her like shit, she said. And you could tell she kind of wanted to kind of have it out with Zadia. But of course, Zadia gets up and walks off. Zadia, I just don't understand it. Yeah, she's an attractive woman, but I feel like her attitude stinks. I just don't get it. And then she comes, and then of course, at another point where they reshuffle the cast again, because they kept reshuffling them, which is really annoying. So when Naeem's out there, why are you popping up, Naeem, to talk about how women are all jealous of Zadia and how Zadia was in people's top 8 or whatever for how many different men at one point? But hello, like when the other lady said, I don't know who it was, I can't remember right now, but one of them was saying, well, hold on a minute. I think it was Aisha and Sydney were like, well, we don't know what goes on behind the scenes. And it's true, women don't know, you know, that you're number 8 or how many people have chosen you. They're not going to know that. So that's just absolutely rubbish. To me, that's Zadia talking rubbish to Naeem and him buying it. And obviously Naeem is liking Zadia, so he's all up on her. We'll find out if they're actually together. It looks like they are. But to me, Zadia's got her Naeem, who's just going to be saying whatever to defend her. But I just didn't agree with the way that he articulated himself there. Like, why are you popping up to say, oh, well, because was the top for a few guys, all the women must be just jealous of her? No, let's stick to what the issue was. There was an issue about them back and forth and around the table and being disrespectful to one another. That was the real issue. Because we've seen from other seasons where ladies have gotten on fine, or there might be a bit of beef here and there, but it's not really been like this. And it felt quite distinct. To me, it seemed like Zadia and Kamil were like little bully girls. And I know Mimim was part of, the brown squad, but I don't pick up as Mimim has having that kind of energy. She seemed like she's a bit more chilled, but those two seem like they're definitely on some sort of crud. I don't understand why, but I'm glad that Aisha kind of pushed back on that. Even that brown girl squad makes no sense, because if that's the case, why was not Aisha included in that squad? Makes no sense. And so again, it just highlights a lot of foolishness to me that just didn't need to take place there. That was more about them not on their friendship rather than, finding love and all that kind of stuff. It just was creating division in a different type of way. Could I just make a comment about the makeup on the set? Like, what on earth happened there? I'm looking at the start, they showed Sean who got sent away, and I felt sorry for him because the way Sabrina's friends kind of ambushed him. So his makeup, why was his face looking red? Aisha, her complexion, makeup wasn't together. All of their makeups were a little bit off, and it was also the lighting. I just thought, this is really bad. I don't understand it, because usually, on the show, their makeup looks really good. But obviously, you're under a lot more lighting and stuff. But I don't know who done their makeup, but sidebar, I wasn't impressed with that, particularly for some of the guys. Like, why is Sean's face red? Why is Aisha's face not matching her body? What is going on? I thought it was interesting in the other news where Tyrone and Kelly had a nice little chat where, Tyrone and Kerry had a nice chat, and Tyrone apologised to Kerry for his delivery, which actually hurt her feelings because she liked him, and he was a bit abrupt in the way that he kind of ended things with her. So I thought it was nice that they got to kind of clear the air and had a little cuddle after that. I thought that was cool. I think it was cool that Sean got to have his say as well about the way things kind of went, because I thought he was quite right. Like I said, I felt like he was just trying to let Sabrina know that he wanted to have children in the future, and I felt like Sabrina's friends just really went at him a bit too harsh, and I think that really messed up his weight in the process. Hence why when the man got released, he's talking about Hallelujah, which still to this day cracks me up. In other news, moving on to Frank and Mimim. I thought Frank and Mimim, at first I thought they would seem like an interesting couple. Like I said at the start, he seemed like he was feeling Sydney a lot more than Mimim. But obviously Sydney was leaning more towards Phil, and they got together. He chose Mimim chose him. So I thought it'd be interesting, particularly after Mimim's dad, I really warned him, don't waste my daughter's time. And to come to reunion to find Mimim looking gorgeous, and then when asked what's going on with them two, she says nothing. I was shocked. What do you mean nothing's happened? He's not called her, not made no effort. So what, you're just on here just for clout? You're just on here to put yourself out there? Because I just think it was so sad, because I feel like she's such a beautiful girl, and she's got a nice, she's got a nice character and personality. Like, why are you wasting my girl's time like that? I couldn't believe what I'm seeing, and I hope they pick up on that a little bit more in the next part of the reunion. But I'm disappointed in that. Frank, obviously, to me, should own it. He was just mumbling and stumbling when they asked him, why has there been no connection? I still don't know why there's no connection. He's talking about he needed time for himself, and once the camera stopped filming, and what are you talking about? If you were feeling Sydney more, then you should have just said, you know what, I'm going to come out of this process. And, Mimi put her heart out there, so you're hurting her because you don't know what you're doing. And how can you just not communicate and then come on the show and act like, oh, you like your, I just don't get it. It's very strange to me. It's very disappointing. And I know people before were in the comments saying, oh, I don't think she's going to be his type because he brought on the white ex-girlfriend and maybe he's more into sort of white or ambiguous looking women. But I'm like, well, why then choose Mimi? And what are you doing? I just think it's just a waste of time. You wasted the girl's time, and I was hoping, and she was hoping, obviously, for a love connection. It's about love connection. You're not coming on the show to make friends and be like, yeah, we'll get together. Okay, allow it. Let's just keep it as friends, or let's not talk to each other at all. So I don't understand why that went down that way. And I'm not impressed. I'm not really impressed with, like I said, the way the reunion has been hosted in the sense of the setup. We'll see what happens next week. It looks like it's more mix up, but it's a bit disappointing, honestly. Like I said, everyone should be out there. People shouldn't just be out there looking like pretty pops on the side, not being spoken to. Like poor Walter sitting there looking like, what am I even doing out here when the girls are going back and forth? It just made no sense. Then you've let Zadia come back out after Sabrina tried to address certain things with her and she decides to just walk off. Like, it's all ridiculous. There's no real closure. And I don't know if it's because Tanika might be a bit uncomfortable hosting. I didn't feel like she wanted to challenge them as much and stuff. Like, I mean, the only thing she challenged Kamil on a little bit was the fact that she did say she was going to F up the women if they put her man in the bottom three. Now, and to me, you had to challenge her on that because it's blatantly on camera. We can see it. And even on camera, the woman is still trying to deny it. Like, this tells you how delusional this woman is. But we'll see what happens in the next reunion. Like I said, I wasn't that impressed. But we will be staying tuned in for the next part.
Yes, so thanks for watching that. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, share, and hit that notification bell so you know when I am uploading some more of people's business. So until then, my nosy people, stay blessed.